Hello, I'm here with an unexpected news announcement because I think Netflix finally remembered they own Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's been a long time since we've heard anything from Netflix, unlike One Piece, which is posting like literally everything. But yes, we finally got official casting news. This is not the first casting news, but I think this is the first one that is actually officially being announced. I think we got a few bits here and there about the Earth King or something a while back. This is official though. Anyway, the first thing I need to say, even before we talk about any of them, Professor Zei is right here, which means, at least to some capacity, the library will remain intact. Otherwise, I feel like if they moved up Wan Shi Tong to Season 1, and they're not going to do it in Season 2, the whole library section would have been removed, and then Professor Zei is kind of redundant, right? Judging by how they adapted Season 1. They completely removed basically any remnants of the stuff they removed, right? So, the Great Divide, for example, was mentioned in like a throwaway comment, and that's it. There's no other mention of it at all. But Professor Zei exists, which leads me to believe that the library does probably also exist. Which, I mean, it's so important, it's kind of insane that we had to even question it, because they moved up Wan Shi Tong for... I still don't know what reason, but they did. But yes, Professor Zei is there. I looked through some of their profiles. I don't think I opened up him. Alright, so this is our Professor Zei. The only thing, I'm re-recording this section, so I don't know if I said this. He does look a little bit young for what I expected Professor Zei to look like, but it is what it is. We'll talk about the same thing with the Earth King. But the only thing I recognize him from, I think, is Cowboy Bebop, the very cursed adaptation that we don't want to talk about, but I do think I remember him from there. Really hard to say what he's going to look like in the role. I mean, as I always say, it's cool if they're recognizable faces and known actors, but at the end of the day, it's the director's job to get them to act, you know? So it's really hard to say what that's going to look like. A few more interesting things here right from the get-go. The Boulder, that's been one that has been very anticipated, and I'm happy to say, where is he? Oh, there he is. This dude, he's built different. I mean, he definitely has the Boulder physique, so I guess we won't have to worry about that. He's definitely built different. He's built like the Boulder. I know a lot of people were memeing around the fact of, you know, like getting the Rock or something, but number one, like budgeting things and everything like that, I wouldn't realistically expect someone, you know, that people meme about to actually show up. So in terms of getting someone with the same physique, and obviously the biggest thing with the Boulder will be his cadence, the way he sort of carries himself and all that, right? Him being just built different isn't really enough. He needs to really nail that exaggerated wrestler vibe, right? And we haven't heard anything else to do with the whole wrestling thing, but we gotta see it. There has to be at least like a 15-minute little thing where we just watch Earthbenders wrestle, because of course we do. So this guy, hard to say what he's going to be like, you know? He's always seemingly played like tough guys. I don't recognize him from anything as far as I know. Fast and Furious, apparently, I haven't seen that one. But yeah. He was man on the phone in Mr. Robot, which I guess I watched. Alright, the Earth King. That is another one that, he just seems a bit young to me. But then again, I always forget his name. The guy from Community, right? He was in Season 1. And he looked totally fine. So if they're just going to do a bunch of makeup and stuff like that, then I don't think there's anything to worry about. This guy, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything. Really hard to say what that's going to look like. But that's our Earth King right there. General Sung. This was a dude, actually. It was an old dude. So he is being turned into a woman now. It really doesn't matter. Like, I think the only scenes we see with him is him being captured by the Dai Li, and that's about it. So if they're going to expand on the General Feng storyline, maybe she's going to play like a larger role there? I don't know, hard to say. I'm not very invested in this at all. This is not my favorite character. Sure, if they want to change him up, why not? Speaking of changing things up though, Amrita. Amrita? Amrita, probably. This is a completely new character. There is a Amrita. This is from the role-playing game, I believe. But I don't really see this being in any way similar, right? So this is a lieutenant of the Creeping Crystal Triad, and that's like a whole thing way later on. So, probably nothing to do with that, but there is a character with at least a similar name and an Earthbender, right? Likely nothing to do with that, though. So we'll see what happens. They did the same thing with Kyoshi Island, right? Just adding a extra POV character there. So, could be something like that. I honestly have no idea where they would even put an extra POV in Bossing Sei or something. But, oh, you know what it could also be? It could also be like the pregnant woman, if we're doing that through line with Bossing Sei. I don't think she was ever named in the Serpent's Pass. I don't know. It could be anyone. Like, there's a lot of unnamed characters, I think, in the series, or at least names that are not very well known, so it could be something like that. Lady Beifong. So, my hope is that they really go in on the whole Toph angle much more than we see in the show, right? Because I feel like with Toph's character, I just made a video about it on the main channel. I feel like with Toph's character, like her dealing with how her parents always treated her weakness, it's such a crucial bit of story that literally colors her entire arc with metal bending and everything. We never really explored that much. And I wish we get to see a little bit more of that, right? I wish we get a bit more than Aang goes to meet them. They're like, oh, who is this you're talking about? My daughter doesn't earthbend at all. Anyway, then we go to the wrestling thing and she pops off and they're like, wow, you're so amazing. We need to keep you even more safe. And that's it. I wish we get to see maybe a bit more drama. Maybe even we do like a sort of a split type of storytelling. This will upset a lot of people, because I know a lot of people probably want to see the swamp. Realistically, I think the swamp is going to be removed unless they want to do a weird vision as they did with Kyoshi. That's beside the point. Maybe introduce Toph as a separate character way earlier in the season, right? So we see sort of her arc also going on in tandem, and only then we meet up with her. Obviously, that would go against the original, where Toph, being a person that we even meet, is sort of predestined by the whole vision, right? Realistically, I don't think they're going to waste their time on that, but at the same time, they also wasted time on a weird vision with Kyoshi that literally added nothing and changed nothing, because Aang went to the temple, or rather the north, because it was going to be destroyed, but he was going to go there anyway. So, weird changes. Weird changes. Still don't understand that one. She definitely looks like... looking at this single picture, she does have the vibe that she is very proper, but she can be extremely strict. She looks like a lawyer. That's honestly what this is a character from Suits. I'm just gonna... I'm just gonna put it that way. Zhu Di. Now, with Zhu Di, I mean, all she has to do is have a unhinged poker face. She's been in Handmaid's Tale. Haven't seen the show, pretty sure she's been in it. She can probably have a pretty good poker face and can look a little bit unhinged. So, maybe. Hard to say from that. And Long Feng looks about what I expected. A older dude that looks kind of badass, and that's about it. So, that's everyone we have. The only things that stick out to me, like I said, is the Earth King and Professor Zei seeming a little bit young, and this new character who I'll be interested in seeing what they do with her. My only guess would be that it's either like the family that Zuko stays with, or maybe it's the family that Aang helps over the Serpent's Pass, right? Because we later see them pop up when Bossing Sei falls as well. That could be a cool little through line to see, like just as another POV character. Other than that, no clue what it could be. We haven't heard, as far as I know, anything on episode counts. We haven't heard anything on episode lengths. Nothing like that. So, realistically, I think we should be expecting that there's going to be a ton of stuff cut from Season 2 as well. Unfortunately, I just hope they don't do weird truncations from Book 3 now that they know it's actually happening, right? So, I really hope we don't start moving things back, and then we are asking ourselves whether or not we're even going to see the library, which is like, even questioning that is absurd. But yes, that is all we know for now. I don't think they've posted anything else. I presume it's going to be another 3 months until they post something else. I guess they did post Aang on October 10th. But yeah, production seems to be ramping up. I heard a few things going wrong behind the scenes, but it seems like none of those were ever like panned out. So I don't think there's any sort of delay or anything happening. Initially, there were talks of that, but so far, so good. So I don't think we should be expecting anything super major to suddenly happen. And I think right now, I think it's smooth sailing until the trailer, whenever that comes. And probably late 2026, early 2027, or rather 2025, 2026. we should be expecting this right alongside the new animated stuff. So yes, let me know what you think about this casting. If you've seen these people in anything before, if you've seen how they act, especially the Boulder, probably, that's going to be like the biggest thing. Nailing the Boulder is going to be hard. Do let me know what you think, and then I'll be back if there is anything more. Maybe they're ramping up, because this literally was dropped on a random Tuesday. So maybe they're going to drop something else tomorrow. Maybe that's what One Piece did. They dropped a few castings like every day or every other day. So maybe. But the Avatar social media team, they're not doing that well. Anyway, I'll stop yapping. Have a good one, and I'll see you back whenever we hear more news. Hopefully not in 5 months. Bye-bye.